happiness. But we have more a tendency to remember those who have not done the greatest things for us, do not have, our best interests. When they come back into your life, when you meet them again and again, how do I use the power to back up towards them? Maybe they have changed, maybe they have moved on, but how do I not see them the way they were or remember their mistakes and the pain that they have caused me?
What I've found is that if I'm turning inwards and I'm connected with that truth that is there within, and I look out of these windows and I look at them, not just in the context of what's happened in the past, but really in the awareness of the spiritual being that they are, I'm opening the possibility that there might be something new that can happen now in our interaction. But I'm also with my antenna up. And so I'm also very alert that if I've been cheated before, for example, I don't want to go through the same experience now. And it's quite possible that they're still very much the same in that way. But the factor of spirituality coming in and being able to pack up the past means that I can do both things. I can see them with a vision of hope and optimism and goodness, but I can also keep myself very alert so that then if things don't synchronize, when somebody speaks and you can feel whether it's from their heart or whether it's just the mouth that's speaking. And so there isn't a synchronicity that's there. And so if I'm spiritually aware and not letting the past influence me now, I'll be also able to pick up whether there is that synchronicity and whether our minds are moving in the same direction or whether there's still a divergence.
So I have to be able to trust myself, to be able to see them in that way. It's not going to be easy to let go.
If truly they've changed, then it'll reveal itself in the way they approach me. Maybe it'll be with a greater humility. Maybe it'll be with a greater gentleness. And if I'm convinced now through their behavior and what my own intuition is telling me at this moment, that yes, there seems to be a very positive change now, then the past is finished, it's gone.
How, letting go of the past, the past is finished and gone is easy, but we say, let's just forgive and forget. But it's not always so easy to just forgive and forget, to let go of their past and see them in that. How do I use this when people say, oh, just forgive, forget, and move on?
For me, the question is, what is it that I am carrying inside myself? Because the whole focus of spirituality is what's going on inside of me. And that's not selfishness. That just simply means is that I'm holding myself responsible for what's going on inside of my own inner world. And if I have that responsibility of keeping things very clean, then I know that things are going to be okay. And so the job of cleansing is a daily process. And if I haven't forgiven, then I'm going to carry that burden, that dirt within me. Somebody said to a senior yogi that there are 4 people in my life who've hurt me a great deal. I've been able to come to terms with 3 of them and forgive them, but the 4th one, I'm going to carry that till the end.
So that's a decision that person took?
It is, and it's because they were so deeply damaged by that relationship, and so they feel at this moment of time that there's never going to come a moment when they can let go of that. And the yogi told them, that means you're going to carry that burden and that rubbish with you for how long? And is this what you really want to do? And if you've been able to let go of the things of 3 others, yes, this wound is deeper than all the others, but it's still poisoning you and it's impacting your relationship with others not just your relationship with that one, but also with others, because you're carrying that within yourself.
This aspect of forgive and forget, I mean, it's not easy to do it. We have to try to do it. But at some point, if we carry it like how this individual is, it could be really damaging to your health, because it's not just your mental that's disturbed, or it's when you meet them that you're disturbed, but it affects your health tremendously.
It's a very big subject of scientific research of psychosomatic illness and how the psyche, the mind, affects the soma. And what they found is that, say for example, in a situation like cancer, they found that most people who experience this particular illness, they trace it back to maybe a couple of years, a year and a half, in which that person experienced some trauma in a relationship, and they haven't been able to deal with it, and it's actually manifest in the way that the body is fighting itself. It's my mind that's fighting things, and it manifests as my body fighting itself also. So what you're saying is absolutely correct. And where the mind is able to take a jump and overcome those blocks and barriers, then there's actually the possibility of the disease being reversed. Again, there's a lot of research that's been done on that in many, many case histories where there's now love that's come in, there's a generosity that's come in, there's forgiveness that's come in, and that's helped to heal the person. And of course, relationships are healed, but because the person has healed, the illness has also gone away.
So
now, this
it's like
is
a favor you're doing yourself.
right. I just wanted to add that I'm not saying that you just deal with the illness on that spiritual level. You must take the medication that you need to take. And so this isn't a replacement, but you're doing all of that, but you're also understanding the work that you need to do within yourself. And yes, absolutely correct, that if I want to be whole and heal myself, then the way is to be able to sort out, pack up the things of the past. There are lessons I can learn from the past, but having learned those lessons, I have to say enough is enough. I'm not going to allow this to interfere with anything in my life anymore.
So you take charge. By learning to talk to yourself like that, you now begin to take charge of your own control, of controlling yourself.
There's a situation that we find ourselves in today where we've forgotten to have self-conversations, to have the dialogue within. And this whole process of meditation and silence isn't emptiness, but it's firstly the dialogue with the self. The soul talking to the mind, to the thoughts and feelings. The soul talking to the conscience. The soul talking to its personality. And so when I learn to talk to myself and sort out what it is I have to let go and finish, and what is useful that I have to keep with myself, then my conversation with you is going to be filled with creativity and freshness. And where I haven't learned to have this dialogue within, there's continuous misunderstandings in our relationships with others. And so meditation means to talk to myself. It means to be able to talk to the divine, so that then I can also listen and learn and move in a different direction. And then the communication out there is a sweet one.
You make it sound so easy. But I think it's getting clearer and clearer of how it is that we need to use the language on ourselves to be able to clean ourselves, to meditate better. I have one question with regard to the power to back up. I understand about using forgiveness and the importance of letting go and forgiving others and, looking at them with that vision. But sometimes I can't pack up or let go when I look at my past failures in my life. Maybe it's a failed relationship in terms of friendship, that I've never been able to make friends. Maybe it's just I've never succeeded being a cook. Maybe it's just something so simple, but it's this succession of failures that I can't let go of seeing. I can't pack it up, even though I'm trying to turn within. What should I do?
I have to recognize my own value and come back to my own state of self-esteem. And I do this in silence. Okay, so there are failures, but there's also successes I've had. But in silence, I look at my own innate goodness, my own original qualities, and I realize that I haven't been using these. And this is why I've met with failure. And so now, in the presence of the divine, I take that strength and that power and I say, I'm going to try again. And I don't allow myself to be limited by the things that have happened in the past. Why? Because there's a new chapter beginning in my life. I didn't know myself before. I didn't know the divine. I didn't know how to access my own inner treasures. So truly this journey is a new beginning, a new life, a new chapter. And so now I can do the things that I couldn't do before, but yet I'll be able to do them with that inner strength and authority. I've packed that up and I'm starting afresh. And there are many, many stories about this. You spoke about cooking. I know people who weren't able to cook. They weren't able to cook a cup of tea. And people like cooking tea sometimes, and they're just putting boiling water in the tea bag, but they like to cook their tea. And they didn't know how to do it. And today, they've been able to emerge those hidden talents that they didn't even know they had.
So they packed up their own vision of failures, bring forward with courage by using the technique of going inwards and developing this faith within themselves. Lastly, on this topic of the power to pack up. So here I am practicing turning within, learning to pack up about myself, learning to pack up about other people. How do I earn the trust of others in me? For example, they are seeing me with the vision of my past. In the past, before maybe I started meditation, I was very arrogant, very rude, very angry. But I have transmuted, I have changed, I have transformed. I can't prove it to them. I can't convince them that I have changed. They are dealing with me, looking at me with the vision of the past. I've packed it up. They haven't. How do I earn that trust?
There's an expression that says that actions speak louder than words. And so I can't just say to them, believe me, I've changed. They're not going to believe me. But as I interact with them, they see that transformation and I gradually win their trust again. You can't demand trust, but you can earn it through your actions today. And they'll be able to feel through your vibrations also what it is that's happened within you. And that really is a very wonderful way with which to serve others. When they see the proof of transformation in your life, they'll say, tell us, how did you do it?
Thank you very much, Sister Jayanti. I think this is going to be one of the first few of my favorite powers because it worked so much in reality. The power to turn within and the power to pack up. Thank you. As I learn to pack up, I realize the thoughts that come into my mind and I learn to keep them aside. I move my ideas, my feelings, and present them to God, the divine being. In that moment of my conversation with God, I actually space in silence. In that moment of silence, I can hear the divine voice that signals to me, that gives me hope and courage. In my regular and daily life, in my life that's career-oriented and action-packed, don't put your life in a box. Don't compartmentalize. You are you, playing different roles in every single part of the day. But it's the same water, like Sister Jayanti says, that flows. So be easy on yourself, deal with it at home, prioritize, and move on successfully to your day. Thank you for joining us today. If you wish to discuss your problem or have a question to ask, or want to know your nearest Raj Yoga Meditation Center, call us on 099 99 744 555.
Om Shanti Om. I'm a peaceful soul. Om Shanti Om. I'm a peaceful soul. ये ध्वनि मंगल ध्वनि है. Om Shanti Om. This